Before you understand football, you understand cameras. They are always somewhere nearby, at the training ground, in the stands, outside the school gate. You are not famous yourself, not really, but your last name walks into every room a few seconds before you do. Santos. The name printed on the back of a canary yellow shirt. The name shouted in stadiums from Sao Paulo to Paris to Riyadh and back again. Your father is Neymar. Not just a footballer. A story people have been following since he was a teenager doing tricks on a small pitch nobody had heard of yet. That is the world you are born into. Your father grew up poor before he grew up famous. You need to understand that first. He was born in Mogi das Cruzes, outside Sao Paulo, and spent his early years in Jardim Gloria, a cramped, modest neighborhood where the family sometimes lived out of a van when money ran short. His own father, your grandfather, was a footballer too, though his career never took off the way his son's would. Instead, he became your father's first coach, his fiercest critic, and for years, his full-time manager. There was no easy path. There was talent, and there was work, and there was a family that bet everything on both. By 16, your father was already a professional at Santos, the same club that produced Pelé. By 21, he was a global star. By the time you exist in this story, he has played for Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, a club in Saudi Arabia, and finally returned home to Santos, the place where it all started. That circle, closing and reopening, is something you will grow up watching. You will not grow up in one city. You will grow up in several. Wherever your father plays, that is where home becomes for a while. Training grounds in different countries. Locker rooms that smell the same no matter which language is spoken outside them. You will learn early that home is less a place and more a routine. Breakfast before training, boots by the door, a phone that never stops buzzing. Your mother is someone your father loved before the biggest chapters of his career had even been written. She is not part of the spectacle. She keeps you grounded in ways the cameras never see. Ordinary mornings, ordinary meals, a version of childhood that looks, from the inside, much smaller and quieter than the headlines suggest. You will have sisters, too, born into different chapters of your father's life. You are the oldest. That comes with something unspoken, a kind of responsibility nobody assigns to you out loud, but that you will feel anyway. The first time you truly understand what your father does, you will be standing in a stadium that holds tens of thousands of people, and every one of them will be shouting his name. You will have seen him on television. You will have seen the highlights, the step-overs, the free kicks that bend in ways that seem to disobey physics. But nothing prepares you for the sound in person. The roar that rises when he gets the ball, the collective breath held when he runs at a defender, the explosion when the net moves. You will watch him lift a trophy on a football pitch soaked in gold confetti, his teammates lifting him onto their shoulders, and you, somewhere near the sideline, waiting for the moment he comes to find you first. Because he always does. Fame will follow you in strange, small ways. You will walk into a stadium once, years from now, trying to reach your father after a match, and a security guard, someone who does not recognize your face despite recognizing everyone else's, will stop you cold. You will stand there, blocked from your own family, until your father has to come back and vouch for his own son. It will feel absurd. It will also, in its own strange way, feel like proof that you are not defined only by the name, that you can, for a few confusing seconds, simply be a kid a stranger doesn't recognize. You will learn to hold both things at once, the enormous visibility of your last name and the private invisibility of simply being 14, or 10, or 6, trying to get to your dad after a game. At home, away from the noise, your father is different. He is a man who still does tricks with a ball in the garden because he genuinely loves doing them, not because anyone is filming. He is someone who has said more than once that becoming a father changed the shape of his ambition, that the trophies started to matter less than the people waiting for him afterward. He will call himself a girl dad, laughing about being outnumbered at home. But you, his only son, the first of his children, hold a particular place in that story. You were there before the daughters, before the biggest transfers, before most of the records. In some ways, you watched him become who he is. You will inherit two things whether you choose football or not. The first is the name, which you cannot avoid. It opens doors before you have proven anything, and closes some conversations before they properly start, because people arrive already having decided who you are. The second is quieter, a lesson your father learned the hard way, growing up with very little, and now tries, imperfectly, to pass down. That none of it, the money, the fame, the trophies, meant as much until there was a family to bring it home to. Maybe you will choose the sport. Maybe you will choose something entirely your own. Your father, who fought so hard for the freedom to choose his own path, will understand better than anyone if you choose a different one. You are the son of Neymar. The world knows the step-overs, the transfers, the goals, the controversies, the comebacks. What it doesn't know is the quiet version, the dad who shows up at school events when his schedule allows it, who still gets nervous watching you do something for the first time, who values, more than any trophy, simply being recognized by the people who matter most. That version isn't for the cameras. It's yours.